Thank you for tuning in to Take 10 on Tuesdays with the Tennessee Tribune. My name is Jason Luntz. This week at the Tribune, we are celebrating this year's graduates of Meharry Medical College. Now, Meharry Medical College is one of approximately 4 HBCU medical colleges in the nation. At one time, it's estimated, along with Howard University, that Meharry was responsible for 80% of African American physicians in the nation. Now, to stay in this vein of Meharry, this week we are meeting with an actual Meharry graduate, Dr. Alicia A. Hello.
Hi, Jason.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what's exciting about Dr. Hall is that not only is she a graduate of Meharry, she's actually an entrepreneur that owns her own private practice. So today we want to talk about your practice and being an entrepreneur, and maybe ask a few questions about Nashville, Meharry.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Is that good?
That'd be great.
All right. So my first question is, what is actually, define what a private practice is for a doctor?
So for a physician that's in private practice, it means that they operate usually an outpatient medicine clinic where they see patients outside of a hospital setting or outside of a community health center setting. And they work pretty much for themselves or maybe another medical group.
Okay. So the word outpatient, I always wondered what that word meant. So outpatient means in reference to out of a hospital?
That's correct. You're seeing patients in a clinic setting, kind of like in a urgent care or medical clinic outside of the hospital, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, how many doctors, I mean, it's probably a rough number, but do a lot of doctors open their own practices, or is that a rare thing, or is it some do and some don't?
You know, those of us who have practices for ourselves, it's not. There are a lot who do, but a lot actually may work for a hospital and be contracted with a hospital that has clinics out in the community, or they may work for a community health center. For the physicians that have their own practices, either they're with other physicians in the same specialty and have either a primary care or a specialty practice or a multi-specialty practice that is governed by physicians, or they may be like myself and practice for themselves and be a solo practitioner.
Solo practitioner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so today, as you guys can see, we're actually in your office.
Yes.
So this is your location.
Mm-hmm.
And where are we at?
We are here in the Baptist Mid-State Medical Building here on 2010 Church Street, and I'm in a medical office building. So there's my office here as well as many other medical offices.
Oh, okay, great. Now, do you have any other locations?
Actually, I do. I have a second practice location that is in the Metro Louisville, Kentucky area. The practice is actually in Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is a commute. And but that practice is a specialty practice, whereas this practice is a primary care practice.
Okay, so this is primary care,
Mm-hmm.
and the one in Indiana is specialty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's great. So you own 2 practices,
Yes.
not just one.
Yes.
And this all started at Meharry.
Well, that was my genesis, yes. After college and undergraduate school, then I attended Meharry Medical College, wonderful institution, HBCU, or Historically Black College and University. Was there for 4 years, and that's where my foundation began as far as medicine, and it was a really wonderful experience, which led me on into residency training in family medicine, and then after that I went into private practice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, any special words or memories about Nashville, Meharry? Are you from this area?
Actually, I'm originally from South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And I went to undergraduate school in Atlanta, Georgia at Spelman. And then What led me to Meharry was when I was in college, we took, I was part of summer science programs, and we actually took, prior to college, and we took trips up to Meharry and to Nashville and toured the college campus, and the medical college campus. And also I knew people from Nashville whose family members worked at Meharry, so there was this Meharry connection. And you'll see that, with a lot of the HBCUs, like Spelman, Morehouse, Howard, and so many others, Xavier, forgive me for leaving out anyone's school, Lincoln, Morgan State, so many. There's a connection with those schools that feed into Meharry Medical College.
So as somebody who went to not only undergrad at a HBCU, you also got your medical degree for one. How important do you think HBCUs are for African American students in 2013?
HBCUs are extremely important. That is one environment and place where you're going to get a little bit more nurturing. You always hear the phrase, or maybe even a cliche, that you're not just a number, you're a true person that professors acknowledge. But there's no other place, I tell you, like a place like Meharry Medical College or some of the other HBCUs, where you have professors that are also mentors, and they really do look out for the students, and they care to see you matriculate successfully through their system and to ensure that you finish what you started.
Wow.
So without institutions like a Meharry, for those, especially for those of us that do not come from privileged backgrounds, where maybe other people in our families didn't go to college. A lot of us are the first doctors in our family. We're the first generation to even go to college and get a degree. So when you have an institution where you're encouraged as opposed to discouraged, in a place where you're accepted because of your intelligence and not judged based off of the color of your skin, or have these other prejudices there that are working against you, when you have all the support, then it just helps to usher in and produce all of the professionals, and in the case of Meharry, the medical professionals that they produce.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, it sure is important. Once again, we're watching, you're tuned to Take 10 on Tuesdays with the Tennessee Tribune. Now, another question, I want to shift gears a little bit. You own your own practice, so you're an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman. So a lot of people that watch Take 10 own businesses or want to, regardless if it's a beauty salon or a restaurant or a private practice. Are there any challenges that you like to talk about? Are any challenges to being your own boss?
Yes.
I know that's so vague, but
you know what? A lot of people desire to have their own business. They have a vision and an idea that, I'm going to work for myself one day. I'm going to produce my own income. I'm going to realize that American dream and capitalize on this capitalist system, etc. And for the longest, even with myself, even working for other medical practices, there was value in that, because I did get a foundation, got experience working in community health centers and also private practices where I learned how to run a practice. But I always wanted to have my own practice, and one of the first steps I would say for anyone who desires to have their own business and be an entrepreneur is to at least write down your goal, write down your vision, write down your dream, because writing it down is the first step. It actually will give you an instant picture on paper of what you desire to have. And it can be a daunting challenge to step out on your own and have your own business, but you just have to do your research. You have to work in places that are of a business that you desire to have on your own, and see how they run things, so that you can get some experience under someone else's belt, if you will. And then sometimes, in my case, I desired to have a practice, and I envisioned having one, say, maybe 5 years or more from the time I wrote it down. Well, it happened in 2 to 3 years.
Really?
Much quicker than what I realized.
Wow.
I was, sometimes you're just put into a sink or swim situation, and when the opportunity is right before you to go on and have your own business or your own medical practice in my case, and the opportunity's there, you just have to take advantage of it. So I can understand, when people really want to venture out and do their own thing and have their own thing, it can be a little scary, and but you just write it down, research it, kind of put your faith out there, and when you step out into the water, just realize that you're not alone and you can do it. You have to believe you can do it, and you just have to do it. Sometimes some things you just have to jump into and just do it.
That's great.
Yeah.
So write it down. That's good advice. Write it down so you have to visualize it first.
Yeah.
And then work in that actual industry.
Yes.
So you can get an idea how the business works. And then go for it.
There you go.
Oh, that sounds great. Now, the last thing I want to touch base on is, especially because there's so many graduates from Meharry and TSU and all the colleges and universities across the country, and young people are going into their careers. Some will be corporate, some will have their own businesses, but a lot of people are going to find success as they get older. I want to talk about how important is giving back once you start to achieve some of your goals, as far as community service or belonging to organizations.
Yes, well, it is so important that when you have made it to the top, you have to realize, when you do gain success and you do achieve your goals, that you did not get there alone. Of course, your schools helped you, your professors helped you, you had other friends and peers that were with you alongside the way, of course, your family. And so when you do get to that point, yes, please remember all of those who helped, and consider younger people or other people like yourself who desire one day to do what you're doing. Open yourself up for mentoring, or in my case as a physician, I actually am a preceptor to other students, even high school students who just want to shadow me for a day just to see what it's like to walk in the shoes of a doctor. Or definitely the medical students and nurse practitioner and other health professional students, to allow them to come to my office and take the time to precept them and teach them and allow them to have clinical internship experiences here. And then also being open to going into the community and speaking to maybe youth groups, or going into churches, or being a part of health fair, for instance, and just exposing yourself to the community. So those are definite ways to give back through volunteering your time and service, and also financially too. Our HBCUs need all the support that they can get, and because a lot of corporations and other entities desire to actually to give charitably to our institutions, but they look at the rate of alumni that are giving. So it's important that if you've attended a college, university, especially at HBCU, please give back something every year, something.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yes.
I didn't know that. That does make sense.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, they need to see that energy coming from the alumni as well. Oh, that's great. That's great. I have to say I really enjoyed this time talking to you today, and I wish you all the luck with your business.
Thank you.
And you represent Meharry very well.
Thank you so much.
Before we go, if you want to give your number or
yes.
your web address and just a little spew what you do. It's a family practice?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm board certified in family medicine, and I do primary care. We see adults and children, men and women. And I also do office-based proctology. We do procedures here, non-surgical procedures to help people with hemorrhoid issues, actually. A very sensitive topic, but we have a very general solution to help that issue. We are located here at 2010 Church Street, Suite 526 in the Mid-State Medical Building in downtown Nashville. And our phone number is 615-329-7969. We are open for new patients. Again, our number is 329-7969, and our website is advancedcarecenters.com. That's AD. I hope that's going to be spelled out on the screen, but advanced.
Oh, we can spell it. We can put it underneath.
Okay.
You want us to do it?
Yes, advancedcarecenters.com.
Okay,
And
thanks.
thank you.
Thanks again. I appreciate it. It was great.
Yes,
Thanks.
Thank you so much.